Okay, I'm going to just take one take of this video, okay? I'm just going to take one take. This is my belief system. I've put down the video that people can have a look where I get all my information from. And this is for me to put to rest how I feel about the origins of Polynesian people, where we came from, where we descended from, so on and so forth. This is going to be two parts because it's going to be quite long. But I'm going to just say the origin that I've come to the end of my research and have now accepted the fact that the Torgines, the beauty of the Polynesian people, the what do you call it? The height, the where we got our muscular strength from came from this region. We originated from and within the Middle East. And I know people might think this, I might be talking out of my you-know-what, but I'm not making things up. That's why I said to people, I made a playlist. I've done over 30 videos about it. And now I've come to my conclusion after watching all those videos. This is my belief system. That I do believe that there was a noble family, a very, what do you call it? A noble family who had white skin, blue eyes. So what I'm trying to say is that Maui and the descendants of Maui and the descendants of the Polynesian people, we originate, and I'm talking not about Polynesians, I'm talking about the nobles, the ones who navigated the stars and understood the, the flightation of birds and all the, all the intellectual stuff came out of the Middle East, near the region of Egypt. Now, if people do not know what this map is, this is the map of where they found a certain rocket jaw, that they found within Polynesia. Now, from my understanding, and this is my theory, is that what happened is that when I did a lot of my research, is that during that period of time, there was how do you say it? There was like a witch hunt for these certain people. And I'm talking about especially within Egypt and around the Middle East. That during that period of time, that sacrificing these white-haired, red-haired, blue-eyed people to the gods was something that was happening during that period of time. So what happened? What happened is they started to do an exodus, meaning they started to flee out into West Africa, into East Africa, to Europe. And a lot of if you look at the trail, there's no people of those sort of bones around this area. The rocker jawbone. There's none over here. Why is that? Because there was a lot of persecution towards people who were blue eye, white skin, and with red hair. They were very tall and they were very muscular. And you'll see that what happened is that a lot of these people started to go down to Southeast Asia, into Asia, and you'll find a lot of red hair, white skinned people in this area over here in East Asia. Then these white, red haired skinned people, you can find them in Anhui. Then you find people that look very Caucasian over there. Then you go into Siberia, where there's a lot of people with red skin and white skin, Caucasian sort of features. And then the noble Polynesians then crossed into the Americas, Inuit, as you can see, and all the way down over here. But we have to also remember that before the expansion of the noble red blue-eyed people, that the Asians, or you may say the Chinese looking people, they were the first in the Americas. So you could say they populated, the Asian looking people populated in South America. And then you could say when there was the persecution of all the red-haired, white-skinned blue people over here, they had the exodus, fled into Central Asia, East Asia, Siberia, and then they were the ones that came into the Americas. This is where you could say these red-haired noble people started to make slaves, or started to enslave people. This is where you get two different classes of races within Asia. So the way I'm saying it right is that when the white people, or these redhead people, made it all the way into California, this is the meeting of, you may say, of two races that is in the origin of Samoa that we talk of. And there was someone else who said that Polynesians say they originated from Turtle Island. And if people do not know where Turtle Island is, it is in the Americas. This is what the legend is. And as I said, the Polynesians and the origin of the Polynesians, or the Inca, right, went into here, and then they populated Hawaii. Now, people may ask me, then why do Polynesians look the way they do, right? Why do they not look like Native Indians, you may say, or look European? And here's my point of view and what I believe. I do believe that the Polynesians, right, the noble ones, the red-haired, white hair, whatever you may call it, they did come into Polynesia. They would have populated around this area, into Easter Island, and all of this region over here. And you could say, right over here in Fiji, Melanesia, is where the Polynesian gene stopped. You may say that they must have went as far as Australia, New Guinea, and then the Polynesian, that's when it ended. This area over here, all this area, was the last place that these red-haired, white-skinned people populated. All the way to Australia, or whatever. You may say that they came both ways. But here's the thing, right? And what people do not realize, that within Samoan legends, these people are called a different name. They were white. Samoans actually speak of a legend that there were these white people who built those pyramids that you see within Samoa. They are the ones that built it. Okay, they were the ones that Samoans, you may say the brown skinned ones, the shorter ones, they're the ones that they spoke of as building the pyramids in Samoa. And what happened, if people do not know who Malietoa is, or who they are, it is through Samoan legends that it was Malietoa who kicked these red-skinned, white-skinned people out of Polynesia and into East Polynesia. So once the Polynesians kicked them out to East Polynesia,